stole a bit from my father, who, lost a lot of the people who would have gone to see him and talk to him.
For years, the royal family kept their private struggles hidden. However, that is about to change. In a rare moment, Princess Anne revealed the truth behind Prince Philip's separation from the Queen. Surprisingly, the real reason is not the fairy tale we all believed. This sudden revelation has left the royal family shaken. Join us as we explore one of the monarchy's best-kept secrets, balancing two different worlds. Prince Philip was born on June 10, 1921. He was the only son and the fifth child of Prince Andrew of Greece, Denmark, and Princess Alice of Battenberg. His father was Greek royalty and the fourth son of King George I of Greece. His mother came from British and German nobility. She was the eldest daughter of Louis Mountbatten, the first Marquess of Milford Haven. This family background made Philip a prince of both Greece and Denmark. However, his early life was complicated. His family faced political issues and personal struggles. After a time in exile, they moved to St. Cloud, a quiet suburb near Paris. They lived in a house owned by Philip's aunt, Princess George of Greece and Denmark. Life in exile was hard, but the family tried to adapt. Philip attended the Elms, an American school in Paris where he studied well and was known for being thoughtful and respectful. In 1930, Philip's life changed again. At 9 years old, he moved to the United Kingdom to live with his maternal grandmother at Kensington Palace. He also spent time with his uncle, George Mountbatten, at Linden Manor in Bray, a peaceful area in Berkshire. He began attending Cheam School, a respected institution. During these years, Philip faced more instability. His 4 sisters married German princes and moved to Germany. His mother was diagnosed with schizophrenia and placed in an asylum. His father left for Monte Carlo and became distant. These events left Philip without a stable home and little contact with his parents. Yet he remained resilient, focusing on his education and personal growth, which helped him develop the strength and independence that define his character. His future role in the British royal family began to take shape during this time. In 1933, Philip went to Schule Schloss Salem, a progressive school in Germany founded by Kurt Hahn. When the Nazi Party started to rise, Hahn fled the country because he opposed them. Philip left Salem after 2 terms and followed Hahn to Scotland, enrolling at Gordonstoun School, where Hahn had started. Gordonstoun offered a challenging but character-building environment, focusing on discipline, outdoor activities, and resilience. This school played a key role in shaping Philip's values and sense of responsibility. Although Philip was born in Greece, he never learned to speak Greek fluently. His time there was too short for the language to be part of his life. He understood some Greek but mostly spoke English. Over time, he connected more with his Danish roots and British culture. His childhood exposed him to many cultures and languages, making him adaptable and strong. Despite constant changes and family problems, Philip focused on his education and personal growth. These years helped him develop the strength and independence that define his character. His future role in the British royal family began to take shape during this time. In 1934, Philip first met Princess Elizabeth at a royal wedding for his cousin, Princess Marina of Greece, who married Elizabeth's uncle, the Duke of Kent. At that time, Philip was a teenager and Elizabeth was a young girl. Their genuine connection began 5 years later, in 1939, when Elizabeth visited the Royal Naval College in Dartmouth, where Philip was training as a naval cadet. He stood out for his energy and confidence, impressing everyone around him. Elizabeth, only 13 at the time, found him exciting and enjoyable. This visit sparked a bond that grew through letters and occasional meetings. Philip was bold, honest, and funny, which made him stand out among the royal family. Elizabeth was quieter and more thoughtful, which drew her to him. Their friendship deepened into a unique and enduring love. Despite their different backgrounds, they complemented each other well. They stayed in touch through letters during the war years, maintaining their connection despite the distance and their responsibilities. As their relationship grew stronger, challenges also arose. Some royal advisors worried about Philip's background. He was foreign-born, had no stable income, and his sisters were married to German nobles connected to the Nazi Party. This troubled many, especially in the years after World War II. There were concerns about whether Philip was a suitable match for Elizabeth. Not everyone in the royal family approved. Some thought he lacked the proper status for someone who would marry the future queen. Despite this, Elizabeth remained determined. Philip proposed to her in 1946, and she said yes. They kept the engagement private until Elizabeth turned 21 the following year. When they announced it, it became a significant event. Their love story captured the public's interest, and their engagement gave hope to Britain after years of war and loss. The public's reaction was one of joy and anticipation for the future. On November 20, 1947, They married in Westminster Abbey. The ceremony was grand and full of traditions. It was the first royal wedding broadcast on television, reaching millions of viewers. The wedding symbolized recovery for a country still healing from World War II. Philip gave up his Greek and Danish titles, took the last name Mountbatten, and became the Duke of Edinburgh. From that day on, he embraced his new role in British life, standing beside Elizabeth as her partner, transitioning into royal life. After the wedding, life changed for Philip and Elizabeth. For Philip, this marked a new phase in his life. He entered a world filled with royal customs and expectations that he hadn't experienced before. Elizabeth was familiar with these rules. She knew she would become queen from childhood, as her path was carefully planned for leadership. In contrast, Philip had to learn quickly how to adjust to royal life. The early years of their marriage were a time of change. From 1949 to 1951, they lived in Malta, where Philip served in the Royal Navy. These years offered them a rare sense of peace in everyday life, away from the public eye. No constant duties or crowds were judging them. For once, they could live like an ordinary couple, enjoying the freedom they would not have again. Sadly, this peaceful time ended in 1952 when Elizabeth's father, King George VI, died unexpectedly. Elizabeth became queen at 25, shouldering the heavy responsibilities that came with the crown. Their quiet life vanished almost overnight. With the new title came a tricky question. What would they name the royal house now that Elizabeth was queen? Tradition suggested that a woman should take her husband's last name. Some proposed the House of Mountbatten, after Philip's uncle, Lord Mountbatten. Philip wanted to call it the House of Edinburgh, based on his title as Duke of Edinburgh. However, these ideas were quickly dismissed. Queen Mary, Elizabeth's grandmother, ensured Prime Minister Winston Churchill was aware of her opinion. Soon, Elizabeth decided that the royal house would keep the name House of Windsor. Philip felt deeply hurt by a decision that made him feel ignored and powerless. Tradition meant more than personal connection. He couldn't even pass his name on to his children. This issue bothered him, even though he rarely discussed it. In 1960, just before their third child, Prince Andrew, was born, a change finally occurred. Queen Elizabeth issued an order stating that male-line descendants who were not royal princes or princesses would carry the surname Mountbatten-Windsor. This change quietly recognized Philip's name in the family line. This shift followed months of letters and arguments. A constitutional expert expressed concern that royal children might seem illegitimate without this change. Prime Minister Harold Macmillan disagreed, but ultimately, the Queen made the final decision. After becoming queen, Elizabeth ensured that Philip would have an essential position by her side in official matters unless the law said otherwise. In 1953, Parliament made this official, allowing him to serve as regent for their son, Charles, if anything happened to Elizabeth while he was still a child. Despite rumors about their marriage, Elizabeth and Philip remained close. Their bond was strong, even during tough times. They supported each other through the challenges of royal life. Years later, during her Diamond Jubilee in 2012, Elizabeth talked about how much Philip meant to her, describing him as steady and reliable during decades of service. Philip's role as consort was demanding, but he handled it with grace and dedication. He joined the Queen at significant events, such as opening parliaments worldwide, state dinners, and official visits. One of his key contributions was during the Queen's coronation. As chairman of the Coronation Commission, he oversaw essential details and became the first royal family member to fly in a helicopter, visiting troops for the ceremony. Even though he was not crowned himself, he pledged his loyalty to Elizabeth during the grand event. In 1953 and 1954, the Queen and Philip went on a 6-month tour of the Commonwealth, representing the crown in various countries. Their young children stayed in Britain, as was common at the time, which came at an emotional cost. Still, the tour helped strengthen the Queen's role and Philip's support in the public eye. Since 1990, Philip has received an official allowance of £359,000 annually for his duties and expenses. This money was not affected by newer financial changes in other areas of royal spending. Every penny went toward his official responsibilities, and any unused funds would be taxed. In reality, Philip used the entire amount for his work. Through the years and challenges, Philip remained a steady presence beside Elizabeth. His journey into royal life was not easy. He sacrificed much and continuously adapted, but always stood by his wife. Their story was about more than tradition: personal strength, loyalty, and quiet devotion. However, their life also faced some controversies. Rumors about an illicit affair. In the 1950s, rumors spread about an alleged affair between Prince Philip and Russian ballerina Galina Ulanova. Although there was no solid proof, the gossip attracted public interest, mainly because Britain and the Soviet Union had tense relations. Some insiders said the British government stepped in to protect the royal family from embarrassment. These rumors reportedly strained relationships within Buckingham Palace and personally affected Queen Elizabeth, although she did not speak out. She remained calm and did not react publicly, while Prince Philip also chose to stay silent, which only increased public curiosity. Some people dismissed the rumors as mere drama, while others believed they showed Philip's struggle with the limits of royal life. His son, Prince Andrew, defended him firmly, but public curiosity continued, keeping the mystery alive in royal history. Elizabeth and Philip's marriage faced challenges, but lasted mainly because they were committed to their duties and each other, despite public pressure. Their story shows the resilience and dedication needed to manage public roles and personal struggles. Living apart. In 2017, Prince Philip officially retired from royal duties at 96, marking the end of a significant era. After many years of supporting Queen Elizabeth II, he lived at Wood Farm, a simple cottage on the Sandringham estate. There he could enjoy a quieter life surrounded by nature. This decision came after careful talks within the royal family and showed a shared understanding of their needs. Princess Anne stated that the change was not due to problems in their marriage, but was a practical decision for both of them. While the Queen continued her duties in London, Philip wanted the privacy and freedom of the countryside to express his independent spirit. Some insiders hinted at other reasons for his move, such as frustration with royal rules. However, official statements focused on his wish for a quieter life. Princess Anne described her father as someone who valued his identity beyond being the Queen's husband, and wanted his later years to reflect that. Ultimately, Philip's retirement and life at Wood Farm represented a graceful end to a remarkable journey. It showed that even those in high positions seek simplicity and peace. His choice was about living the final stage of his life with dignity, reminding everyone that behind the crown was a man who cherished the simple joys of life he had earned. The final years, coming back together. In early 2020, as the pandemic began, Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip chose to reunite at Windsor Castle after living apart for years. This time together helped them strengthen their bond during a difficult period. Their children noticed a renewed closeness between their parents as they shared meals and conversations, reminding everyone of their enduring love. Despite the reasons for their earlier separation, the months spent together helped heal the gap that had formed over time. Even as Prince Philip's health declined, he kept his humor, comforting the Queen through their shared silence. Their long marriage, marked by challenges and public duties, showed a strong partnership built on love, respect, and shared values. When Prince Philip died, the royal family felt a profound loss that marked the end of a generation. This farewell was both sad and proud. Prince Philip asked for gratitude instead of mourning, showing his acceptance of life's end and his strong ties to his family. Together for 73 years, the couple became a symbol of lasting love and commitment, despite the difficulties of royal life. Their bond, defined not by grand gestures, but by trust and quiet understanding, reminds us of love's strength, leaving both a royal and human legacy.